There's a window in your home that no one talks about. Maybe it faces a quiet street, or looks out over the garden. You rarely sit near it, yet you never cover it completely either. It just exists, harmless, ordinary. But what if I told you that very window might be quietly working against you? In Feng Shui, windows aren't just architectural features. They're the lungs of a home. The points where energy flows in and out. And just like the breath, that flow needs rhythm, direction, and balance. Too little, and the house becomes heavy, stagnant, unable to lift you. Too much, and whatever good energy enters opportunity, luck, peace rushes right out before it can settle. Now, this isn't about superstition. It's about pattern and experience. You've likely felt it without knowing why. A home that looks beautiful on the outside, but somehow never feels quite right on the inside. Bills pile up, sleep is shallow, tempers flare easily. You move the furniture, light candles, declutter, but the undercurrent of restlessness stays. Sometimes, the real shift doesn't come from buying something new. It comes from noticing what's already there and how it's behaving. That's what today is about. We're going to look at the windows of your home, in a way you probably never have. Not in terms of style or view, but in how they hold, or release the energy you live with every day. Because here's the truth. When windows are placed wrong, when wind cuts through your space like a blade, or when sunlight glares, instead of warms your home can't do its job. It can't protect you, it can't nourish you, and over time, it can't hold on to your fortune. So ask yourself, what are your windows really letting in, and what might they be letting go? Part 1: the wrong window in the wrong place can shift everything. You walk into a beautiful home, polished floors, soft lighting, maybe even that fresh lavender scent from a nearby diffuser. Everything looks right. But something feels off. You can't name it. You just know it, like a low hum in the background, too subtle to hear but impossible to ignore. And in many homes, that dissonance, the reason peace never fully arrives, is hiding right there in the layout of a window. Not all windows are blessings. Not when they're placed wrong. It might seem harmless, just glass, light and air, but energy doesn't work in straight lines. It swirls. It breathes. It responds to what you build around it. And when a window interrupts that rhythm instead of supporting it, your home doesn't just feel off, it becomes off. Out of sync. Out of balance, and over time, that imbalance doesn't stay in the walls. It moves into your mood, your relationships, your finances. One of the most common and quietly damaging mistakes is placing a window directly in line with the front door. You open your door and straight ahead, there's a window on the opposite wall. It feels open, maybe even modern. But in Feng Shui, that's a red flag. Because what enters your home, opportunity, good fortune, ease, rushes out just as quickly. It's called a piercing energy line. And when energy doesn't get a chance to circulate, it doesn't serve you. It leaves. You work hard, pay your bills, try to save, but the money never seems to stay. There's tension that creeps in, arguments that come from nowhere, and a persistent feeling of almost peace, almost stability, almost thriving. That alignment, door to window, isn't just bad luck. It's an energetic leak. And if you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still standing still, that leak may be where it starts. Now move deeper, into the bedroom. The place where you're supposed to recharge, soften, be safe. But take a look at where your head rests. Is there a window above it? Beside it? Does the wind graze your skin as you sleep? Many people find this refreshing until the fatigue creeps in, or the neck pain, or the restless, vivid dreams that never seem to leave you rested. It's not just physical. In energy terms, your body becomes exposed while unconscious. The flow of air, especially over your head or feet, disrupts your natural healing rhythm. And over time, you're no longer resting. You're defending, even in your sleep. Older adults may notice it more: sudden chills, blood pressure swings, dizziness in the morning. But even younger, active homeowners find themselves waking up tired. not knowing that the very wind they welcomed may be working against them. Now step into the kitchen, the heart of nourishment, a room of fire and warmth and gathering. But if your windows surround the stove or worse, if there's a draft near the cooking area that fire scatters, not just literally, but energetically, meals cool faster, appetite dwindles, and something about family time starts to feel rushed, unanchored, thin. This is the subtle power of misdirected airflow. In Feng Shui, a window placed behind a stove is seen as draining the household's wealth. Fire, after all, is a symbol of prosperity. If it can't stay concentrated, neither can fortune. So what do these three placements have in common? They all create escape routes. Your home is meant to hold warmth, joy, clarity, abundance. But when windows are carelessly aligned, they turn into energetic exit signs. And no matter how beautiful your furniture, how expensive your decor, you'll always be chasing comfort instead of living in it. Here's where this gets deeper. Misplaced windows don't just affect airflow. They affect how you feel in your own space. A house should feel like a pause, a soft exhale. But if your body tenses near a window without knowing why, if your mind feels foggy in certain corners, or if your sleep is light and fragmented no matter how early you go to bed, there may be an imbalance in how your home is breathing. Because that's what windows are. The breath of a house. And when they exhale too sharply or inhale too weakly, your whole rhythm starts to shift. This isn't fear, it's awareness. So pause right now. Think of the window you rarely question. The one facing the bed. The one aligned with your door. The one letting sunlight glare onto your dinner table. What if you adjusted it just slightly? What if the curtain fell a little heavier, the blinds tilted a bit, the position softened with a plant, a screen, or a shift in how it opens? What if that one choice stopped the quiet leak and let your home begin holding you again? The wrong window in the wrong place doesn't just let light out. It lets life out. And when you fix that, when you close the path that was never meant to stay open, what enters your home no longer rushes away. It lingers. It builds, it blesses, and you finally begin to feel it. Not all at once, but steadily. Like a breeze that doesn't chill, a light that doesn't glare, a room that no longer echoes, a home that knows how to hold you exactly where you are. That's the shift, and it begins with a window. Part 2: Signs your house is breathing wrong. You don't need special training to sense when something in your home isn't right. Most people feel it long before they understand it. You walk into a room and feel restless for no clear reason. You sit down to relax, but your body never fully settles. Sleep comes, but it's thin and fragile, like it could break at any moment. These aren't random experiences. In many cases, they're signs that your house is breathing wrong. And when a home breathes wrong, the people inside it slowly do too. A healthy home has a rhythm. You feel it the moment you step inside. The air feels calm. The light feels gentle. Nothing rushes you, nothing presses against your chest. But when that rhythm is disturbed, the house begins to show you clues, quiet ones, easy to dismiss, until they're not. One of the clearest signs is sound. Not noise from outside, not traffic or neighbors, but the sound of wind itself. If you've ever heard a long, whistling tone sliding through a window, especially at night, your home is telling you something important. That sound isn't just air squeezing through a crack. It's pressure moving too fast through a space that can't hold it. Energy is entering aggressively and leaving just as quickly. Homes like this often feel unstable. People living in them may notice money comes in but disappears without explanation. Plans fall apart at the last minute, or decisions feel rushed and later regretted. The mind stays slightly on edge, even during quiet moments, because the background energy never truly rests. Then there's movement, subtle, visual, and often overlooked. Curtains that billow outward when everything else is still. Fabric that lifts and falls as if the room itself is sighing too hard. Many homeowners laugh this off, They call it a draft. But when it happens repeatedly, especially with no windows open nearby, it points to conflicting airflow patterns. Energy is colliding instead of circulating. Instead of moving gently through the space, it rushes in, hits resistance, and rebounds. Over time, this creates emotional inconsistency. People feel scattered. Focus becomes difficult. Conversations start but don't finish. Projects begin with excitement and stall without reason. The house isn't supporting follow-through because its own energy can't settle. Light is another powerful signal and one of the most misunderstood. Light is usually seen as positive, something we want more of. But not all light nourishes. When sunlight enters a room sharply, reflecting off glass, metal, or nearby buildings, it stops feeling warm and starts feeling harsh. You may squint. You may feel overheated or irritable in a space that should feel uplifting. This kind of glare doesn't invite clarity, it overwhelms. Homes affected by it often carry tension. People argue over small things. Emotions spike quickly. Spending becomes impulsive. Rest feels shallow. The house looks bright, but it doesn't feel peaceful. Light, like breath, needs softness. When it cuts instead of flows, it disrupts the inner balance of everyone living there. Another sign is how your body reacts without your permission. Do you avoid sitting near certain windows? Do you instinctively turn your chair away from a particular direction? Do some rooms make you feel tired, while others keep you oddly alert? These reactions aren't imagination. The nervous system responds to environmental stress, long before the mind labels it. If a window channels energy directly through wind, light, or alignment, your body stays slightly guarded. Over time, that constant low-level alertness turns into fatigue, headaches, shallow sleep, or emotional drain. And then there's the feeling of leakage. The sense that no matter how much effort you put in, something keeps slipping away. You tidy, organize, plan, and budget, but life still feels uncontained. This is often the result of energy leaving a home too easily. Windows act like pores. When they're positioned poorly or left unmanaged, they release more than stale air. They release momentum, stability, grounding. The house never quite holds what enters it, and neither do the people inside. What makes these signs so powerful and so dangerous is how ordinary they seem. None of them feel dramatic enough to demand immediate action. They whisper instead of shout. And because of that, people live with them for years. They adjust their behavior instead of their space. They blame stress, age, circumstances. But the environment remains unchanged, quietly reinforcing the same patterns day after day. Here's the turning point. Once you learn to recognize these signs, you can no longer unsee them. You start noticing how different rooms make you breathe differently. How some windows soothe you while others agitate you. How closing a curtain at the right moment suddenly makes the space feel held. Calmer, complete. This awareness is not about fear or control. It's about listening, because a home that breathes well supports your nervous system, your sleep, your decisions, and your ability to keep what you earn financially and emotionally. And when it doesn't, it leaves clues everywhere. In the sound of wind, in the movement of fabric, in the sharpness of light, in the way your body tenses without explanation. These signs aren't problems. They're messages. And once you understand them, you're ready for the next step, not just noticing what's wrong, but learning how to guide your home back into balance. How to help it breathe in a way that steadies you, nourishes you, and quietly supports the life you're building. Because when a house learns to breathe properly, everything inside it begins to slow down, settle, and stay. Part 3: How many windows is too many? You can't count it. We've been taught to measure everything: calories, steps, square footage, window count. It gives us a sense of control, something to hold on to. But in Feng Shui, especially when it comes to windows, numbers can mislead you. Because what matters isn't how many windows you have, it's how they behave, how they move energy, how they hold space. Energy doesn't care about even numbers or symmetrical layouts. It moves with rhythm, pressure, and flow. And when windows interrupt that natural movement, too open, you don't just disrupt the energy of your house. You dilute it. The common belief is more windows, more light, more air, more luck. But it doesn't work that way. You can flood a room with sunlight and still feel drained. You can have fresh air from every direction and still wake up heavy. That's because windows don't just let things in. They also let things go. And if they're positioned without care, they become slow leaks in your home's emotional and energetic foundation. Imagine pouring water into a bowl that has no sides. That's what it feels like to live in a house with too many windows, or windows that are oversized for the space. Energy enters but doesn't stay. It doesn't settle. It doesn't soak into the walls or the furniture or your skin. It rushes out, uncontained. Over time, this creates a subtle, persistent sense of instability. You'll notice it in the little things. Always feeling behind, never fully rested, constantly trying to catch up in your own space. So how much is too much? There's no perfect number, but there is a ratio that helps. Most Feng Shui masters suggest the window area of a room should take up roughly 15% of the total wall surface. That's enough to allow breath, but not enough to cause depletion. Let's say your room is 200 square feet with standard wall height. That's about 500 and 600 square feet of wall area. 15% of that would be around 75 to 90 square feet of windows. Roughly one medium-sized window and one small one, depending on design. Of course, every room has its own personality, but the key is balance, not brightness. If you go far below that range, the room can feel stagnant, like the air hasn't moved in days. That's when energy gets trapped, and so do emotions. You might find it hard to stay motivated. Ideas don't come easily. Fatigue lingers longer. But if you go well above that ratio, the opposite happens. Energy passes through too quickly. Joy becomes fleeting. Conversations feel like they echo without ever grounding. The room loses its ability to comfort. And keep this in mind. The size of your windows matters more than the number. 3 small windows might equal 1 large one in surface area, but their placement can completely shift the energy flow. What looks symmetrical on a blueprint may feel chaotic in real life. That's why we don't count windows, we feel them. We stand in the room, we breathe, we notice. And when you begin to observe your space this way, you'll start to feel when a room breathes too fast, when it exhales too sharply, when it doesn't know how to hold the moment. You'll realize that peace isn't created by adding more, it's built by protecting what's already there. In this way, your windows become guardians, not gates. So before you worry about adding another skylight or expanding your kitchen view, pause. Ask yourself, does this room feel grounded? Does it need more air or more containment? More brightness or more stillness? This is the kind of awareness that makes a home feel like a living, breathing being. A space that inhales light, holds warmth, and releases only what no longer serves. That's why the question isn't, how many windows do I need? The question is, what kind of rhythm do I want to live inside of? Because in the end, the right window doesn't just open to the outside. It opens to a life that moves more gently, more clearly through you. And that's when energy begins to stay, to build, to bless. Part 4. Each room needs to breathe differently. Some homes feel calm the moment you step inside. Others feel chaotic. Though nothing's visibly wrong, the secret often lies not in what you see, but in how each room breathes. Because just like the body, not all parts are meant to inhale or exhale the same way. Your bedroom shouldn't breathe like your kitchen. Your living room shouldn't echo like your bathroom. Each space holds a different rhythm, a different pulse. And when that rhythm is respected, something profound happens. Your home begins to regulate you. Start with the bedroom, the most vulnerable space. It's where the body lets go, where the nervous system resets, where dreams form quietly in the dark. This is not a room for strong airflow or glaring light. It needs containment, softness, stability. A bedroom with too many windows, or windows too large, often leads to restless sleep, unpredictable moods, even chronic fatigue. Wind hitting the bed, especially at the head or feet, disrupts the body's energetic pathways. That breeze you enjoy before sleep, if uncontrolled, it's pulling energy from the very systems trying to repair you overnight. The best bedroom windows are small to medium in size. Placed to the side, not behind or directly across the bed. Use layered curtains, sheers for daylight, heavy ones for night. Let your sleep space feel held, cradled, secure. Because when the body sleeps without defense, it finally heals. Now, step into the living room. This is your home's entry point for joy. It's where energy gathers, where conversations unfold, where presence expands. Unlike the bedroom, this room should breathe openly but not wildly. You want light but not glare, air but not wind tunnels. Ideally, 2 to 3 windows positioned across adjacent walls create a gentle cross ventilation that keeps the energy moving but not rushing. And what those windows face matters too. If possible, open them towards something living: trees, sky, a calm yard, even a well-tended street. The view sets the tone. Sharp angles, crowded structures, or chaotic streets bring in erratic energy. Soften the view with sheer curtains, potted plants, or hanging textiles. Let the room exhale calmly and gather quietly. The living room is not meant to echo, it's meant to receive. Now let's talk about the kitchen. This room is not just about food, it's about fire. The warmth that nourishes your body also symbolizes wealth and vitality. Fire needs containment, it needs focus. And yet, modern kitchens often overexpose it with big, breezy windows placed right next to the stove or sink. When airflow in the kitchen is too open, the energy of cooking, the essence of nourishment, gets scattered. Meals cool faster. The space feels rushed. Family dinners lose their anchor. Ideally, the kitchen should have just one window, small to medium in size, off to the side. Not behind the stove. Not directly facing the dining table. Keep curtains light but firm, like bamboo blinds or washable wooden shades. And close the window while cooking. Let the heat gather. Let the scent linger. Let the fire hold. Because a kitchen that holds fire well supports not just appetite but abundance. Bathrooms are often overlooked, but they have a rhythm too. These are spaces for release, for cleansing. They need light to prevent stagnation, and just enough air to keep moisture moving. A single small window that opens slightly is enough. Don't overventilate. Too much airflow here can drain energy from the rest of the home. Let the breath of the bathroom be minimal, quiet, respectful. And then, there are the overlooked corners: home offices, hallways, nooks. These small spaces often inherit the rhythm of surrounding rooms. But they deserve their own breath too. A single skylight, a translucent glass block, a curtain drawn open at the right hour. These details matter. Because energy doesn't skip corners, it notices them. And if you ignore them, they collect heaviness. The kind you can't always name, but feel every time you pass through. The bigger truth is this: your home is not a single breath. It's a symphony of them. And when one room breathes too hard, another has to compensate. That's when the imbalance shows up. You sleep more but feel less rested. You eat well but feel ungrounded. You relax but don't recover. Because the house is trying to regulate itself through you. That's not the way it should be. So pause for a moment. Walk through your home not with your eyes, but with your breath. Feel the rhythm of each space. Does this room exhale too fast? Does that one feel like it's holding its breath? What needs more containment? What needs more space? These aren't abstract questions. They're the beginning of a different kind of design, one that honors emotion, energy, and lived experience. Because a home that breathes with you doesn't just shelter your body, it holds your life. And once you understand how each room needs to breathe, you stop decorating and start healing. Part 5.3. Simple ways to turn a window into a wealth magnet. There's a difference between a window that simply opens and one that receives. The first lets in air, maybe a bit of light. But the second, it becomes a quiet partner in how your life unfolds. Some windows bring in warmth, peace, a sense of possibility. Others leave you feeling exposed, scattered, or strangely ungrounded. And here's what most people never realize. With just a few small changes, a window can shift from being a passive opening to an active magnet for wealth, clarity, and ease. Let's begin with the view. What your window looks at day after day becomes the emotional tone of your space. You may not notice it consciously, but your nervous system does. When you wake up to a clear open sky, a soft tree line, a gentle garden, even if it's small, your body softens. The energy entering that window carries calm, natural rhythm, and stability. But if you open your blinds and see tangled wires, brick walls, chaotic roads, or cluttered fences, your home starts each day with tension. Even the most well-decorated room can't compete with a harsh view that pours in imbalance. If your current view doesn't support you, you can still soften it. Add a layer of sheer curtain with natural tones: linen, cotton, or soft bamboo. Place a plant on the windowsill. Let the eye land on something green, rounded, or growing. These aren't decorations. They're buffers. They change what your window receives and, by extension, what you absorb. When your window opens to something that holds energy, your space begins to keep energy too. The second way to turn your window into a magnet is to work with light, but not just any light. Morning light is the most nourishing form of natural energy. It arrives gently. It hasn't been touched by traffic, chaos, or midday rush. From about 6 to 9 a.m., this light carries what some traditions call pure yang. Clarity that helps with decision-making, mood regulation, and financial awareness. If your window faces east or southeast, you already have access to this power. All you need to do is receive it. Open the curtain early. Let the light wash into your kitchen, your living room, your workspace. If your windows don't face this direction, you can bounce the light into the room using a well-placed mirror or soft reflective surface. Don't use harsh silver glass, choose warm, subtle materials that reflect without glaring. Paint walls a soft ivory, pale yellow, or blush-tone beige colors that hold and diffuse the light like a quiet glow. You can also place natural crystals on the sill. Clear quartz or citrine are especially good. These aren't for decoration. They bend light, they magnify the warmth. And as that filtered light dances through your home, so does the energy of focus, momentum, and quiet growth. Now, the third and most overlooked way to transform a window is cleanliness. Not in a chore-based, checklist kind of way, but in the way you care for something sacred. Windows are the eyes of your home. And when they're foggy, dusty, or cluttered with objects, the energy they invite becomes murky. Light gets blocked, air feels stale, and you begin to feel stuck. Many homes with perfect layouts and stylish decor still feel heavy, and the answer often sits right there in the glass. If you haven't cleaned your windows in weeks or months, start now. Not with chemicals or scrubbing, just warm water, white vinegar, maybe a drop of essential oil. Clean slowly. Open the window as you do it. Let the old air out. Let the space breathe again. Afterward, place something intentional on the sill, not random decor, but a piece that holds energy. A wind chime, a small piece of driftwood, a vase with a single fresh leaf. These little anchors signal to your home. This window is a threshold. You'll notice something change almost immediately. The room feels brighter, even if the light hasn't changed. Your thoughts feel clearer. And over time, your life does too. The power of these shifts is not in their complexity, but in your presence. Your intention. You're not redesigning your whole house. You're reclaiming the points where energy meets your life, where outside becomes inside, where chaos becomes calm, where movement becomes flow. So ask yourself now, what does your favorite window say when you open it? Does it greet you with stillness or with sharp wind? Does it show you sky or strain? Does it glow or does it glare? And more importantly, how do you feel after you've stood there a moment longer than usual? Your windows are speaking. Your home is listening. And now, you are too. Because a window isn't just a frame, it's a choice. And when you choose to soften the view, welcome gentle light. And keep the glass clear, you're not just improving your space. You're inviting life to move toward you instead of away. Not loud, not fast, but surely, quietly, steadily. And that, more than anything, is how wealth begins to stay. Final. Sometimes, change begins not with a grand renovation, but with a breath. A pause. A curtain drawn a little slower. A window wiped clean not just of dust, but of everything that kept the light from truly landing. You see, this wasn't just a conversation about windows. It was about how energy moves through space and through you. About how the most ordinary parts of your home, the glass you've stopped noticing, the breeze you assumed was harmless, can silently shape the way you feel, the way you sleep, the way you welcome what life brings. We explored how misplaced windows can drain your home's ability to hold peace. How sharp wind, cluttered views, or overly bright light can chip away at your stability, without you even realizing it. We learned that every room breathes differently. Your bedroom needs stillness. Your kitchen needs containment. Your living room needs gentle rhythm. And we discovered that small shifts, softening a view, greeting the morning sun, keeping the window clear, can become magnets for clarity, warmth, and wealth that actually stays. But more than anything, I hope you've come away with this. Your home is not just shelter. It's a living, breathing extension of you. When it breathes well, you feel more yourself, steadier, clearer, more connected to your own timing. And when it breathes poorly, life begins to feel just a little harder than it needs to. So tonight, before you turn off the lights, stand by your window for a moment. Listen not with your ears, but with your breath. Is your space holding you? Or is it leaking something you've worked so hard to keep? Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for letting these words sit beside you quietly. However your home looks, wherever you are on your journey, I hope it begins to feel just a little more alive, a little more yours, starting now. May your windows invite in softness. May your rooms hold your laughter. And may your days, one breath at a time, begin to carry more peace than noise, more light than glare, and more wealth of every kind.